Greetings from the Asian Productivity Organization, and welcome to this APO Productivity Talk. P-Talks are one of the 3 flagship programs of the APO and consist of a series of discussions and conversations with international experts on productivity-related topics. Today's P-Talk is Green Productivity and the Environmental Impact of Textile Industry. Green productivity has guided APO member economies in enhancing economic prosperity, productivity growth, and the environmental performance, and is one of the strategic thrusts of the APO Vision 2025. One industry where the concept of GP is particularly relevant is the textile industry. The production processes within this sector often result in significant environmental impacts, including the pollution of water bodies, soil degradation, and air pollution. This P-Talk will delve into how the textile industry can transition towards sustainability by embracing green productivity principles. By implementing sustainable practices, such as minimizing chemical usage and optimizing resource consumption, the industry can mitigate its environmental footprint and safeguard natural ecosystems. The transition to sustainability in the textile sector is critical, given its substantial environmental impact. Today's talk will present a comprehensive approach to improving the textile industry's sustainability, covering key areas such as input controls to output management. By adopting these frameworks, companies can reduce their environmental footprints while enhancing productivity and competitiveness. Before we start, I would like to give our viewers a brief profile of our speaker today. Huynh Van My Linh is a manager of the Business Development Division of Bureau Veritas Consumer Products Services in Vietnam. She is responsible for promoting Bureau Veritas' comprehensive portfolio of services in testing, inspection, certification, and solutions within the consumer product industry. She also has long experience in textile and fabric analysis and business development. Thank you for joining us today, Ms. Linh. We are eager to learn from your presentation.
Thank you very much, Ansang, and thank you very much for APO inviting me to sharing very interesting topics today. So let me introduce myself. So good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Linh. So I'm over 16 years in the textile industry and specialize in the textile and footwear quality assurance and sustainability compliance. So this is my 5th year working in Bureau Veritas CPS Vietnam as a business development manager for textile and footwear and also CSR. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Linh.
So can we start the topic today for now? Okay, so let me let's talk about the topic today, the green productivities and the environmental impact of the textile industry. There are some key factors that driven the green productivity in the textile industry, including the like the energy efficiency, water and management, the wastewater management, the waste reduction and recycling, sustainable raw materials, process optimization, collaborations, and transparency. And lastly, very important is the chemical management. So I'd like to mention about the chemical management in this sharing today. So why is so important? So if we have the effective chemical management, so we can drive the green productivities in the textile sectors more efficiently. And then it helps to reduce the environment impact of the hazardous chemicals, improve the resource efficiency, ensure the regulation compliance, and also support the company's sustainability goals, and also improve the brand image. Yeah. So let's dive deeper into how chemical management can be implemented across the different stages of the textile production process to drive the green productivity. There are many initiatives and certification provided in the textile manufacturer with the guidance, the tools to implement chemical management practice, such as the Blue Sign, Ocotex, Cradle to Cradle, ZDHC, MRSL, etc. But today, I'd like to pick one of the most popular program, which is covered 3 stages of the chemical management: input control, process control, and output control, that is ZDHC. So what is ZDHC? The ZDHC is the Zero Discharge of Hazardous Chemical. Foundation is the non-government environmental organization. As the part of the efforts to raise the environmental standards in the fashion, textile, and leather industry, it's run a three-step certification scheme that certifies product contain no hazardous chemicals. So the organization, from its 6 foundation brands, now ZDHC expanded to include over 370 signatories, including the brands, vendors, association, machinery manufacturers, suppliers, chemical companies, solution providers. So it also involved from the brand-driven program into an industrial-wide program driven by the different stakeholders in the value chain. Okay, so in the takeaway section, I will summarize and suggest the modules and tools that you can use to monitoring and reporting continuous improvement your production. So let's talk about the input control. What is the input control here? So you can see from here, the input control is about the ZDHC MRSL. So what is the ZDHC MRSL? It stands for the Manufacturing Restricted Substance List. So a list of chemical substance banned from the intentionally used in the facility that process textiles, apparels, and footwear. Maximum allowance concentration for an intentional contamination or impurity in commercial chemical formulation need to be met. Okay. In the ZDHC MRSL goes beyond the traditional approach of the chemical restrictions, which only apply to the finishing products like the RSL. Now it's focusing on the workers, the local communities, and also the environment protection, as well as consumer safety. The latest of the version of the ZDHC MRSL is 3.1 for now. And the check tool of the formulation is the ZDHC ChemCheck report, generated from the ZDHC Gateway chemical module. So facility using chemical, also known as the supplier, the chemical supplier, must manage input chemicals through the InCheck report based on the ZDHC InCheck guidelines. The ZDHC outlines 3 conformance levels. The level 1 is using the analytical testing. By one-time testing to screen for the restricted substance, if all results do not exceed the limit of the standards requirement that the chemical considering level 1 conformity. So level 2, higher than level 1, beside the chemical testing, ethic document review on the on-site assessment of the management system in formulator facilities like environmental and quality control. And the level 3, highest demands. So besides achieving level 1 and level 2, so it deep dive into the formulator's chemical hazard assessment, including the regulatory tracking and SDS accuracy. So these 3 levels drive continuously improvement chemical safety. Okay, so now you can see here is the level 1. Level 1 conformance. So this step involves analytical testing of the chemical formulation to spot the ZDHC MRSL risk. Okay, so this is only one-time testing. And when the lab receives the sample from the formulator, we review the safety data sheet and use the smart testing for analysis. And this ensures that only compliant and safe formulations enter to the production process. And level 2 step into the on-site assessment. Analytical conformance requirement of level 1. They make sure that they have to test in level 1 at level 1 level, and then they need to go to the on-site visit on the chemical formulation facility to evaluate its management system. So the on-site visit on the assessment, including the environmental management system, occupation health and safety management system, raw material management system, quality management system, chemical management system, and also wastewater and the solid waste management system is very important as well. So the level 3 is also the on-site assessment, but this is the higher demand. Except required to achieve the level 1 and the level 2, there's also the additional review on the chemical hazard assessment capability. I emphasize here the capability of the formulator. If the facility know how to assess the chemical hazard, track regulation, prepare the SDS, and reformulate products with the safety alternatives. Okay, so what if when you pass level 1, 2, 3 and you apply the level 3, so we will get the certification process, right? So the certification process for the ZDHC MRSL conformance is very straightforward with 4 steps. The first step is you submit the formulation and document, and then the labs will do the on-site audit by the ZDHC approved certifier, such as Bureau Veritas is also one of the certified party. If all comply, moving to the step 3, so formulator will receive a test report and certification. And finally, the formulator is then registered on the ZDHC gateway, verified and shared the report and certification industry worldwide. So let me give you some interesting figure from the ZDHC. So up to now, more than 3,000 formulators have published nearly 140,000 chemicals on the ZDHC gateway. So more than 13,000 suppliers manage input, process, and output through the InCheck report, and supplier to zero certification and clean stream report. And totally with 77 brands and more than 20 vendors have adopted ZDHC guideline and check tool to manage their supply chain. So what you are seeing here is the chemical performance globally, the data generated by Bureau Veritas. So you can see the conformance level is improving year on year. So from 2022 to 2023 and 2024. So you can see the equip compliance is reducing because actually when they optimize the BV equip tool, so the level 1, 2, 3 is increased. Then in level, you can see the alert here. Alert is the potential non-compliance against some standard like ZDHC MRSL or the A-firm or the REACH SDHC or VOC, something like this. And then when you see the need more information, so the non-transparent chemical products are not able to evaluate for the conformance. Okay, so now let's review. Okay, you see the equip. So let me show you what is equip. Okay, so instead of have your chemical chemistry in your expert in your facility, in your factory. So it's better to maximize the digital solution for the chemical inventory and also the environment data monitoring, right? Then I recommend here is the BV Equip tool by Bureau Veritas. So the first function of this tool is to generate an InCheck report from ZDHC. So yes, it is ZDHC approved. And the second one is the digital platform to help the facility and factories to manage chemical inventory. You can also review the formulation to understand the ingredient and composition. And you also know how know the chemical compliance level, like you can see level 1, 2, 3 in previous slides, right? And you can also have the instant performance report to review the compliance patterns and also submitting to your brand's requirement. And finally, you can estimate the wastewater discharge scenario. This is very important. And this platform is also recommended by ZDHC and many brands and also the retailer. Okay, so we already go through the first section from the input control, that is for the chemical management control. So now we are going to the process control. So what is the process control? So the process control here, in the textile and footwear industry, we can assume today we have many programs for the process management that should assess and review your supply chain. And then your supply chain through such as the chemical management, to the manufacturer, to the suppliers. But we can see the common program like the ZDHC roadmap to zero is for the chemical management part. But for the environmental assessment, you can maximize the tool like the Higg FEM or the BEPI M4E. So coming to the ZDHC Verified InCheck level 1. So it's on the on-site review to verify a supplier chemical inventory, is ensure the accuracy of a performance InCheck report, and also verify the supplier earn a check mark on their ZDHC gateway profile, and boosting the credibility with the brands. You can submit to the brand, and the brand can log into the ZDHC gateway to see your performance. Okay, so the goal of the what is the CIL verification here? So the goal of the CIL verification, what we call CIL, is the chemical inventory list verification, is to confirm the inventory completeness and accuracy. So this builds trust in the supply chain performance report and ensure the reliable data on the chemical use. So how many types we have in the verification? So totally there are 2 types of the verification. The type 1, with less than 30 unique chemical products, only 1 verification checkpoint. If the total score is 80% or more, the verification is considered successful. And the type 2 process is more than 30 unique chemical products, with total 5 checkpoints totally, and the total score is also over or equal to 80% is successful. So this is an example of the successful verification. So you will get the InCheck logo with the tick here, the pass score over 80%. And let me give you another example of unsuccessful verification. So failure under 80% score, in this case, you need to conduct the corrective action and re-verification after 3 months. Okay, so how about the environmental module? So as I said, I recommend that the Higg FEM for the environmental assessment. So this is also accepted and adopted by many brands worldwide. So the scope of audits of the environmental Higg FEM is environmental management system, ESG, GHG, water, wastewater, water use, waste management, air emission. Air emission is in develop, and also the chemical management. And the benefits to adopt this tool is to avoid and reduce the cost actually in your supply chain or the chemical management, and then influence the decision from brands. Your brand image will improve, and learn how to build the sustainability impact to your whole supply chain. Okay. So that is the process control. We have the chemical management. We have the environmental assessment. So now we go to the output control. So output control, there are in 3 key areas. The first one is the wastewater treatment. Implement advanced wastewater treatment technology in your facility to remove chemical contamination before discharge. Yeah. And the waste management is this to separate and properly dispose the hazardous chemical waste and explore opportunity for recycling and recovery. The third one is the air emission control. So install the air pollution control equipment to capture and treat the VOC and the other air pollutants. So we are focusing on the wastewater treatment here, right? So what is the ZDHC wastewater guidelines? So manufacturer actually not implement the ZDHC wastewater guideline, but also follow the local legal regulation. So in the textile industry, famous foundation now, many brands and the association using ZDHC wastewater guideline. The key guideline here is follow the latest version is 2.2. So this guideline is also adopted by the many brands, like I say, retailers, and also the factories. So the whole supply chain will fall into this using this guideline. Okay, so some name I can name from here for very famous brands in the sports like Adidas, Puma, and Nike, and the retailers like Nike, Target, and Walmart is also using it, and they are also the ZDHC members. The check tool of this ZDHC guidelines is the clean stream report generated from the ZDHC gateway wastewater models. Okay, so what are the testing parameters in the ZDHC wastewater guideline? Okay, first one is the ZDHC MRSL. The second one is heavy metal. The third one is the conventional parameters and anion, and the final one is the sludge parameters. Let me go through one by one. Okay, the first one is the ZDHC MRSL. So the ZDHC parameters can be found in the table 1A to 1T in the ZDHC guideline. And then the purpose is to prevent the hazardous chemical from entering the supply chain, reducing pollution in the wastewater and sludge, such as the heavy metals or from dye stuff. And complements the RSL by using by focusing on the input chemical rather than the finishing products. So you do the preventive action more than the corrective action. Right? The heavy metals. So heavy metals are very critical concern in the textile production also due to their toxicity and the environmental persistence. So they can enter to the process through dyeing, pigment dyes, dye stuff, chemical subsidiary, or is also appearing in the wastewater and sludge because they do not break down naturally, accumulating in the ecosystem and posing risk into the human health by the food chain. So limited sets by the framework like the ZDHC wastewater guideline to ensure the safety, discharge, and disposal. Convenient and parameters and onions. So the facility must test in routine these parameters and adhere to the ZDHC Foundation, reporting the results for the transparency as well. Finally, the sludge. Sludge is the solid or semi-solid material separate during the wastewater treatment process in the dyeing mill or printing mill. And then the testing sludge is also considering another factor in the verification of the ZDHC MRSL conformance. Yeah. So wastewater discharge fall into how many types here? 5 types totally. So you can see there's the direct with parameter with sludge, indirect with pretreatment without sludge, and indirect without pretreatment, and zero liquid discharge. And usually there's 3 sample location. The first one is the untreated wastewater. The second one is the effluent, and the third one is sludge. And what are the sludge disposal pathway? So according to the ZDHC wastewater sludge pathway, so there are 7 pathways of the sludge disposal. So this minimizes the environmental risk and also ensure the safety handling. So in summary, what is the ZDHC requirement to the suppliers, to the formulator, to the facilities? So they need to meet all the report limits for ZDHC MRSL parameters, test and pass the report. The second, meet all the minimum wastewater foundation limits for all heavy metals. The third one, meet at all minimum wastewater foundation limits at all conventional parameters and onion for the direct discharge facility. And in case of the non-conformities, how we do, suppliers should perform the corrective action and also the root cause analysis in the ZDHC gateway and submit to the ZDHC, in this facility, and also submit to the ZDHC gateway a supplier account. So when you have failure and is any non-conformance wastewater or the sludge, facility need to require to conduct a root cause analysis, like I said, and corrective action plan. So one of the solution is you can apply ETP. So ETP is the Effluent Treatment Plan Assessment. So the program is focusing on the process design, operation control, the team competence, and the benefit to drive the compliance to legal regulation and also the ZDHC and foundation requirements, and also minimize the risk of the environmental pollution, enhance the factory's reputation, the factory, the company reputation, and lastly, we reduce the cost, the raw material and energy consumption, and also the improve the efficiency and the productivity. This is important. So, in short, what I'm sharing here is 3 steps, right? The input, process, and output control. So, I will give you the key takeaway here to summarize. Like, if for the input control, the chemical supplier needs to improve the performance of the product. Reference tool, you can use the ZDHC MRSL certification, a ChemCheck report. For the textile supplier, like the fabric mill, the printing mill, the washing factories, need to use conformance chemical. So proof by the InCheck report. Recommended platform that you can use the BV equipped by Bureau Veritas. So in the process, so it's please well control and well prepare for the chemical management audits, and also regularly to do the environmental assessment, and also enhance the knowledge by the training. Finally, the output. So the outputs you need to control in the wastewater and sludge if you have in your facility, and refer to the document and standards you can use, ZDHC wastewater guidelines. Yeah, this is the global wide standard. Yeah, so hopefully the sharing today is very helpful, and is also if you haven't started to or already start with the chemical management in your supply chain, so appreciate your action right now. Firstly, to help your green productivities, enhance the brand image, also create further opportunity and sustainability growth. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those insights and your informative presentation that allowed us to gain knowledge about the topic, Ms. Lin. We would now like to move to the Q&A session. Thank you very much. Now, our first question, how frequently is the ZDHC MRSL list updated? And which UN or international organization monitors whether countries are committed to ensuring that the listed chemical substances which are restricted or banned from intentional use in the manufacturing of textile, leather, and footwear products are not used in production?
The ZDHC MRSL is the living document. So since it's published in 2015, so it's normally updated every 2 years. And then the update process is like a science-based evaluation that involves many factors. I mentioned here in 3 factors. The first one is the collecting a list of the chemical proposal to be banned and for use in the fashion. The second one is to review of the proposal chemicals by the expert panel. And the third one is the ZDHC candidate list, is how the ZDHC MRSL constantly evolves and improves. consistently improvements. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. That gives us a lot of information of the process. Second question, what kind of training programs are available in Vietnam for developing talents and skills for practitioners to enhance their abilities in environmental data monitoring? And
Yeah,
which
I think.
public or private organizations offer such programs and courses?
Okay, sure. So I share about the ZDHC. So actually, ZDHC have their own ZDHC Academy. So Higg FEM is also have training courses, and then we like Bureau Veritas is also opening the ZDHC Chemical Management, ETP training, and these are all supported by Bureau Veritas. We do have a lot of free training courses, free sharing webinar, and also some sharing with course and certification. So you can see the upcoming training courses here. If you have that demands, you can scan to the training course by Bureau Veritas, and then you can get more update information daily. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is very useful for our viewers, and we encourage our viewers to actually access the code and to get more information. Third inquiry, the question is, in chemical inventory, there are two types of verification. In Vietnam, are there more type 1 processes or type 2 processes? And also, what is the application rate for each process type? And are there any differences in the processing length between the two types?
Actually, in Vietnam, as our experience, the type number two process is much higher. So the majority of the facility is using more chemical in the production process, such as dyeing, printing, and finishing. So, and the process of the type two is normally will take more time since the number of the chemical to be verified is also more. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. That highlights the difference between the two processes and very informative. The next question. The Higg FEM assessment results contain important data on the environmental impact of product manufacturing at facilities. Are there any training centers or capacity building workshops for stakeholders to successfully implement this tool? And how are SMEs in Vietnam incorporating this tool?
Actually, we promote this tool quite a lot of time during a year. And Higg FEM also have their training courses, like I said. So actually, you can log into the Higg FEM platform to see more information on the training. And then ZDHC Academy also have. And then Bureau Veritas also regularly open that training section and webinar seminar. And Cascale, Vitas, and the association, like the Vitas, the Vietnam Textile Association, Lefaso Associations is also organize those kind of training.
Okay, so there are many institutions actually that you have raised that actually involved in this training.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And the next question, in Vietnam, what have been the key challenges in the implementation of the wastewater guidelines, and what types of approaches have the government and the public and private sectors has taken to accelerate successful implementation of these guidelines?
This is very interesting question. So, so in your question, there are two questions, right? So in Vietnam, what have been the key challenge in the implementation of the wastewater guidelines? So let's see, we have 4 challenges. The first one is the infrastructures. Yeah. Many areas in Vietnam lack of necessary wastewater treatment facility and the network to effectively collect the treating wastewater. And the second one is the limited enforcement and monitoring. The third one is very important, is the financial constraint. And the fourth one is the lack of public awareness and also the participants. So that's why, as like BV, we promote a lot of this kind of solution to the customers, and we also support them on the training and know-how. And the second question is what type of approach to have the government, public, and private sector taken to the accelerate its successful implemented. So to address this challenging, the Vietnam government or the public private sectors have taken multi approach. The first one is the infrastructure development. So the government also investing on, and also the expanding the wastewater treatment plant as government side in the industrial side, and they also strengthening regulation and enforcement. And we see there's a many financial support and incentive that the government given, or the association is given now, and then the public awareness and capability building. The final one is the collaboration and the partnership. So the cooperation between the government working with the private sector, the international organization, or the local community to develop and implement these wastewater management solutions. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that great insights. And it's very interesting to actually get a lot of insights for information regarding how the approaches are being done and how solutions are being brought by public and private sectors, particularly in the financial part, in that support coming from the government. Thank you very much for those information. And we would now like to continue to the sixth question. In identifying wastewater discharges, are consultancy processes engage? What is the length of time required to complete the ZDHC Gateway Supplier Profile?
The wastewater, the wastewater discharge type can be identified by the facility themselves, actually, and when they have the wastewater system set up. And then the facility can engage with the external consultancy process as they need. So a lot of consultancy can help support on that. I guess your question is also how much time is needed to the facility to complete the wastewater testing process, right? So typically the process from the approved laboratory platform wastewater sampling at the facility until the report end is about 10 working days.
Thank you very much for kindly answering that question. And we'd now like to proceed with the next one. Which organization recommends effluent treatment plants to facilities that fail to meet wastewater discharge levels, either in terms of legal compliance or the ZDHC foundational level?
So I will recommend you contact with Bureau Veritas. We can support on the corrective action plan and also the solution, also the root cause analysis, why it's failed, and then how to improve.
Okay, so contacting the Bureau Veritas is the most recommended way to actually get the solution for this one.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much for that. And then we have another question. What are the key success factors in sustainable chemical management? And how should regulatory frameworks and guidelines be developed in order for the available tools to be fully utilized and boost productivity?
So the key success factor in the sustainable chemical management, well, I can say that actually we need to have the competence people. We have to have the chemical experts. If you don't have, so contact with the experts and get the training. And then the second one is you need to have the top management support in the financial support or the people support and agree on that. So this is the long-term improvement. It's not the short-term one. Yeah. So there are few tools that I suggest during the discussion, so you might consider. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll look into those tools, and we actually would like to proceed also to the next question. And thank you very much for kindly answering this question. The next one is, what are the main areas in which academic institutions, industries, and companies can collaborate, establish partnerships, and contribute to human capital development?
Main area in academic institution, industry, company can collaborate the partnership. So the industry education. So this is quite a big area that involved a lot of parties to involve. So the Vitas or Lefaso, the association, ZDHC, and also the gas scale, WOD, and like the corporation like Bureau Veritas, the third party, the certifiers from the in this industry. IDH is also the association that could support on this. And actually, these association and corporations that I mentioned above is actually have cooperate very regularly. We work together to organize the workshop, the seminars, to launch this kind of program, and also to do the research and innovation as well. And then we also do a lot of development and training.
Thank you very much for kindly answering that question.
Mm.
And the next one is actually our last question. You throughout all this presentation and also in this Q&A, you have touched upon a lot of topics, which was very insightful for our viewers and for the APO. And what is your overall message to our viewers?
Actually, sustainability and the sustainable chemical management is very crucial aspect of the supply chain operations. So is this also help your organization, your company to minimize the environmental impact? That's what we can see. So why we have to implement the green productivity, right? So the second one is to ensure the regulatory compliance and also enhance the overall sustainability of their products and processes. So actually, this is a very long journey, and then this requires a continuous improvement plan from every parties, all the supply chain. So it's not about the pass or fail result. When you do the test report in the ZDHC, is usually you will concern on the pass or fail result. You will do when you do the environmental assessment in Higg FEM. You will also concerning about the score. But actually, this is not important. The important is you know where the failure and how to correct it, and you know where is the process, the chemical, where's the improvement needed in the process, and then you get alignment from your management team to support and continuous improvement. Yeah. So this is like the whole managing of the input control, like I say, the process management and output control. So the textile supply chain is very quickly catch up to the global chain of the sustainability, and also it's very challenging, but it's also very much opportunity for the sustainability business in the future. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And that really actually is a very insightful, how to say, feedback to our viewers and to us, because green productivity, this is one of our key areas which we would like to actually promote for the adoption. So this presentation has actually unlocked a lot of information and also background about how the assessment and the whole entire process for the chemical management, and also entitled like tools which are very useful for all these types of maybe potential like companies which are trying to implement such tools. This is very like a very good example. So thank you very much for all of this information, and we would like to also inform our viewers to make use of this information. Thank you very much again for the presentation, and we also would like to thank our viewers for watching this P-Talk today. Please kindly subscribe to our channel, and in case of any questions to today's presentation, please kindly send us an email. Thank you very much again, Ms. Lin, for the wonderful presentation.
Thank
and we
you.
look forward to see you again soon.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.